Welcome back. So, I'm filming this video, one in my car, because it's a bit of a more personal topic, and two, um, on the 4th of July, 5 days prior to my birthday, because this video is about my birthday and it's about setting goals. It's a bit of a more personal video. Um, I've already recorded this entire video, by the way. I'm just redoing the intro because I got this new mic and I actually the entire introduction is without audio because didn't know how to work this thing. So, dude, at 49 subscribers, you just gotta upgrade your equipment. You're becoming big time. So, yeah, forgive me for my mishap. But anyhow, yeah, man, I'm turning 22 on the 9th of July, and it's very exciting. But all of my birthdays, they're a bit kind of sobering because birthdays bring to life, like, okay, what did I accomplish this past year, you know and the first time, well, not the first time, but one of the first times that I thought like that was my previous birthday, 21, when I turned 21. And when I turned 21, i I was like, dude, I like all of 20, not all of 20, but I was like, wow, like I've grown so much all throughout 20. It's been like a roller coaster, but it was all misdirected. I was like all over the place. I didn't know where to go. So for 21, that really set my mind on, like, I need to set a direction for myself. I need to have a place where I'm going to make this year worthwhile. Cuz that's not to say that all of 20 was wasted. It's not to say that 20 wasn't worthwhile. I definitely learned a lot that year, but it's more like if I had directed all of that energy that I had that was just going all over the place, if I directed that towards like a goal, I I would probably be in a lot different of a place right now. But that's hindsight, dude. You can always say that in hindsight, but it's about what you do now, right? So, birthdays are sobering for me because I remember back my 13th birthday. It wasn't crazy, but it was nice. We had a good time. I really enjoyed that day. And then I remember, it was towards the end of the day, and I was sitting in bed, staring up at the ceiling, and I just remember having my very first existential crisis right then and there. I don't know if you can hear that. Dude kind of interrupted my video, I'm not gonna lie. But I remember having my very first existential crisis right then and there, staring up at the ceiling, 13 years old. I remember thinking, like, man, this day was so good. I can't believe it's gonna end. And then I was talking to myself, and I was like, or thinking to myself, and I was like, well, all things must come to an end. It's like, no, not all things must come to an end. And it's like, no, yeah, all things must come to an end. I was like, oh, well, what about life? And oh, there it is. So I went to my sister's room and I just started crying and bawling about how I was gonna die and everyone's gonna die and all this. And yeah, that's not to say that every birthday's been like that, but I feel like you can look at that in like a healthy way, but you can still have that awareness on your birthday of like, yes, I am a year closer to dying, but also I'm a year closer to realizing my full potential. If you're watching this kind of content, you have so much potential, bro. But the thing about potential is that it's not realized, it's not here. It's just up in space, you know what I mean? Like your potential has to be realized for it to be worth anything. So, anyways, birthdays are more of an opportunity for me to like look at where I'm at in life and look at where I want to be at in the future. You know, because life is always something worth celebrating, don't get me wrong, but there's certain things that are just not worth celebrating, you know? Like let's say you're 23 and you had really big goals for 23, and then now you're 24. You're turning 24, you have this massive celebration. It's like if you're in the same exact place that you were at in life previously, do you really deserve to celebrate? Like what are you celebrating? You know, that you're like closer to dying but you've gotten nowhere? It's it may sound harsh, and I'm not saying it isn't, you know, but you have to set these goals for your birthdays, man, because I feel like they're the best times to set goals, you know? When I was turning 21, I had only recently started on the whole self-improvement thing, you know. I'd only been into it for about a month, and you know, I was taking courses and I was doing my meditation, my journaling, reading all these books, and all these books that actually were gifted to me on my 21st birthday that proceeded to change my life radically. For 21, I had set certain goals that I wanted to accomplish by the time I become 22. And I'm not going to lie, man, a lot of those goals were extremely ambitious, and I'm proud of myself for having such a ambitious mind to where you know I think like that, and to where I had the balls basically to dare myself to do these things. And even though those things didn't get accomplished, I have goals that I have for 23 that I am very confident in. You know, this past year has taught me a lot. Birthdays are an opportunity for growth, man. And if it hadn't been for me going into my 21st birthday with an intention, I don't think I would have covered as much ground as I did for all of 21. And now going into 22 with another intention, I'm realizing that setting these intentions for your birthdays are crucial, man. I don't know when your birthday is, but whenever it is, please check back on this video because your birthday can either be a step towards greater success or it can be a step towards death. You know, depending on the way you look at it, it's always going to be both, but you can put that positive spin on it if you set the intention to do so, you know? Like if you go into your birthday with the intention of getting drunk and going on this big party, hey, there's nothing wrong with that if you have stuff worth celebrating your entire year. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, you know? Like you're celebrating that you're alive. Like you're alive. That's a big congratulations, you know what I mean? But on that same note, it's also it's like if your only intention is to get drunk and to celebrate and to have a good time, that's cool. I'm not saying that's not cool. It's cool. But you can't expect to go anywhere. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I earned a cajillion dollars over this past year and that, you know, I cured world hunger or anything like that. You know, obviously, you got to be realistic, but I think that you just need a goal to work towards. You need to set that year to fulfill a certain intention. For me, I'm quite lucky that my birthday is right in the halfway point of the year. So I have the second half of the year to accomplish something, and then the first half of the next year to accomplish either more of the same thing or something else. For example, like I'm not gonna say the goals that I actually set, by the way. And I'll touch on that in a little bit. But for example, man, like I told you guys how earlier, for 21, I had set extremely ambitious goals, and that I'm proud of myself for setting those goals. And while I am proud of myself, that taught me that your goals should be very attainable. It should be something that you're almost like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get that. Like that, I'm obviously getting that. That's easy. That's dude. There's no problem. Like, how could I not get that? You know what I mean? It should be kind of goals like that. That way you can snowball into those more ambitious goals. You know. Um. Now, here's the thing about goals. Actually, on my YouTube channel, I talk a lot about goal setting, but I feel like it's crucial, man. Like, dude, without a goal, you have no direction. And a lot of my channel is based on direction because direction is something that I felt like I needed not that long ago. It's something that everyone needs, and it's something that a lot of young people are lacking because we're so bombarded by all these distractions constantly. We're always like, you know, on the rush. We're always being bombarded on social media that we have no time to just look inward and think, what do I want to do with my life, you know? There's very few times in which you can think about that. And so having the chance to think about that, like setting a goal consolidates that and it gives you something to work towards. Like I have this one goal that I've been working towards for like over a year now and I'm still working towards it. And like you need to have these things, you know? Cuz otherwise what are you doing? Like you have no purpose for being here. You have no purpose for waking up if you don't have a goal, you know? I'm not saying that your goals always have to be like, oh, I'm going to make a gajillion dollars, but your goals got to be something like, yeah, today I'm going to have fun. You know, it could be something that simple. Today I'm going to have fun. It could be, for example, for me, I had set my weekly goals earlier this week. And part of those goals was to make a YouTube video. And that's what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? I really didn't want to make a YouTube video. Straight up, I did not want to come to my car and make a YouTube video, but I basically forced myself to do this because of that goal that I had written down. And goals will make you act differently than you otherwise would have. That's the whole point, you know? And the reason you don't want to, so the reason that I said I don't want to tell you my goals is because goals are babies, basically. And I told you I've been working on this one goal that is left unsaid for over a year. You know, a year is still a baby. Like if you were a year old, you'd be a baby. You know, what do you do with babies? You protect them, you care for them, you nurture them, you feed them so they can grow, and you want to give them like the highest quality care, and you want to nurture them. You know, you don't want to expose your baby to too many things right off the bat, you know, because your baby can get overwhelmed, it can get scared, you know. And a lot of the times, harm, what harm would be to a baby, to goals, is like people's judgments, you know. When someone starts judging your goals and someone starts like telling you, oh, your goal should be a little bit different because of this or that, you know, they'll make you start second guessing yourself. And hey, maybe they don't. Like maybe they are completely supportive and nice to you and they're like, "Yes, like go for it. Absolutely." You know? But it's like at the end of the day, like that energy of judgment is still there being imposed upon your goal, you know? Your goal is still being judged behind your back. It's being like talked about behind your back. People are forming all these ideas about your goal that you're not going to accomplish it or whatever it is. And so while While you may think that it doesn't affect your goals, like I think it does. And that's something I don't want to expose my goals to, because man, ideas are like babies, you know. Ideas are souls within themselves. And the thing about ideas, most of your goals will be like centered around an idea. You know, that's what a goal is. It's an idea because it's not fully realized in the three-dimensional world, you know? So, a lot of these ideas are souls within themselves. And if you're not the one to realize them, they're going to go on to someone else that will realize it, you know? And so you need to really be in a good place to set these goals and to accomplish them, you know? And hey, that's not to say that I've been perfect for the entire year and change that I've been working on this one goal, but it's kept my efforts directed, you know? Everything that I've been working on over this past year has been directed towards something. And I feel like that's led to so much growth that otherwise would not have been there. And that's really the point of me talking about these goals is giving people direction. And it's not even like me telling you like, hey, you need to work on these exact things, you know? Like I kind of tell you like, hey, maybe you should consider reading books. Hey, maybe you should exercise. Maybe you should meditate. You know, like, but that's advice anyone will give you, man. Like, the thing is, all of those things need to be directed at a goal, need to be directed at something greater than you know? Like, because, you know, your goals can be totally selfish, you know, and I think that your goals should be selfish, you know? You can't, like, you can't make all these goals about helping other people if you can't even help yourself. To summarize this video, don't share your goals with everyone because you don't know people's intentions. All right? People may appear to be your friends, but they legitimately do not want to see you succeed. They're your friends because you're at the same place that they're at. And if you were to surpass them, they would not be nearly as friendly. You know, you may think that this only applies to like millionaires and stuff like that. No, it applies to everyday people. Success is all relative. The place where you're at in life, it's all relative. So don't think that these things don't apply to you. Don't share your goals with everyone. Nurture your goals. Take care of your goals. Work after them, right? Set some goals. Sit down. Take some time to sit down, really think, journal, whatever it is that you have to do to make some clear goals. Write them down. Have some goals and write them down so that you can stick to them. If you don't write them down and they're just lingering around in your head, you're not going to stick to them. So write them down, stick to them, and yeah, keep setting goals, man, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to give you direction. And everybody needs direction. It's kind of like, let's say you get on a boat, but you have no idea where it's going. Dude, it's gonna crash into a rock, bro. It's gonna, what do you call it? It's gonna go to the middle of nowhere. You're gonna be sailing forever. You know, you gotta you gotta know where you're going. All right. Even if it's like a general goal, it's okay to start with a general goal and then set into more specific things. But nevertheless, there's a goal. So set them because 90% of people don't set goals. And I assume that if you're watching this kind of content, you probably don't want to be like 90% of people, bro. So that's all I have for you today. Um, my latest video was about how to not be a bot and how to, yes, I actually named it that. How to not be an NPC, actually. And how to know what you want, not what other people want for you, because I know that can be kind of confusing. if you want to watch that, that's going to be somewhere on the screen. Thank you for watching, alright? I hope you got a lot of value out of this. Please comment, give me some constructive criticism, and yeah, I'm out.